Hi, I'm Larry. Welcome to the Addiction Diaries. I'm a recovering addict who believes that addicts, our families, friends, colleagues, and those that truly care about us need a safe place to hear stories and connect in a way that is personally meaningful. Today, I'll be speaking with Shelley about addiction. Listen in, and we'll connect on the other side.
So just tell me, what has been your experience with regard to addiction? I mean, how has it entered or impacted your life? So it's been quite a hilarious journey, huh? oh boy, I don't normally. I mean, we don't. It's not common to find that response, but I really appreciate you for being so open and honest.
Okay, so I suppose I can tell you this one story about drugs, right?
Okay, yeah.
I'm not a big drug user right now, but this one story about drugs is when I was in my early 20s, actually. I was out with my cousin, and we were at this party, and it was at a friend of mine's place, that I trusted, and it was like grass, So anyway, they had like these big fat doobies rolled, and they said, "Okay, let's just pass this around." So I took several tokes as in the same group, and it was kind of a small circle. Maybe there was 6 or 8 of us there, and all of a sudden it just hit me, and it hit me like a brick.
I see.
And I was so loaded that I got so paranoid. I remember laying on the floor and wanting to go to the hospital. And I said to my friends, take me to the hospital. I promise I won't tell them where I got it. And of course, who's going to take me to the hospital? They're all loaded. They're not going to, So my cousin ended up taking me home, putting me to bed, while she ate chips and red and left the light on, so that because I couldn't handle the dark. So, at any rate, needless to say, I stopped. I had a little girl at the time. She was 2 years old, and I said, "Listen, this is crazy. I cannot do this. I cannot do this." So I stopped then.
Yeah. So for you, it was sort of like it was a not so much scared straight, but just the experience hit you in a certain way that you just really said no further. That's it. I don't want to. This is not fun. This is more of a problem than fun.
Yeah, absolutely. But I guess I would say my addiction didn't leave. Not with that decision. That's not when my addiction left. I mean, addiction it's a journey.
Yeah, sure.
It's an absolute journey. And so, even though I don't do drugs, and I have, in very modest situations since, I've been 48, basically, or 45, tried it again very, very modestly. That's really not where my addiction issues really lie. My addiction issues lie more in everyday life. And
how was it demonstrated, or how does it manifest there?
Well, it's just in how I approach things. I get hyper-focused on something, and, I'm out. I'm gone. I just stay there and grind away, mostly as it relates to, work or accomplishment.
I see.
That's where my addiction is.
I see. And so, what are the results of it? Where do you see it as a negative, and if any way do you see it as a positive? And how does it join into your life and how you carry on?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say that when you ask me the question, how is it a positive? I obviously am getting something out of it. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. And I would say to you that, what I get out of it is I just get this real this sense of, that I can focus, But I guess in the grander scheme of things, in the big picture, if you step back and you take a look at what you have accomplished in the time that you've been devoting yourself to that particular, focus or that moment, I would say that overall, it's not a successful experience. Because a successful experience would include all of the other elements of life. Your relationship, interacting with other people, which I think is an enormously creative activity. It opens your mind, gets you out of your navel, and so I overall, I really don't think it's positive. But for some reason, my brain or my person or my habit is to think that I've got to get this done. I need to achieve to be successful or something like that, right?
Yeah. So then, can you think back in your life to the point where you first remembered this sort of manifestation and sort of this desire for this drive for the completion, and can you think back, and whether it was in a positive sense or negative, or where was the first time that you remember noticing that in yourself?
Yeah, but I do remember when I was with Creative House, and I was down in Arizona, and we needed a comp plan for the entire company, a compensation plan, and we had somebody in HR who was painfully slow, and which is an enormous judgment for me, because I was the president of the company, and I railroaded them. I just went, wow, here, and I designed over less than a bottle of wine that I had by myself until 2 o'clock in the morning. From 7 till 2 o'clock in the morning, I wrote an entire comp plan. I mean, and during that time, my output was exceptionally high, exceptionally. I was just doing amazing, feats of focusing on an element and absolutely, delivering like crazy. And I do remember thinking, holy cow, that's weird. Like, how can I do that? And I got it to him, the next morning. But his focus as an HR person, I came to realize afterwards, is that, and we're way off topic here, but is that his focus on it, from an HR perspective, was to make sure that he checked in with folks, and that they were really happy in their roles, and that they're in their jobs on Monday morning. That was his first order of business. And here I was going, well, fuck, you have to have a comp plan. We need to get our comp plan done. We have a directors meeting at the end of the week, and we got to have a comp plan. So let's get on it, chop.
Yeah. So that was one of the earliest times. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I was already in my 30s, right?
Yeah.
I mean, before that, I when I was a kid and under the age of 10, I'm not sure that I can remember a time when this need to achieve was there.
How about
it might have been there.
Regular assignments, homework assignments, or any? Did it demonstrate itself, or did it manifest itself around those type of assignments?
Are you kidding? I didn't give a shit for school.
Yeah. So it's almost. It's almost like it has to be something that really matters to you. That's one of the parts of the formula. It has to really be something that you determine that you want to do, and then it can take on that role, or you can take on that role with it to really just do it no matter what. Everything else is excluded.
Well, now I do it around work. right?
I see.
I do anything work related. I don't know if I do it personally. Do you think I do it personally? Have you noticed?
This is I'm doing the interviewing here, ma'am. I'm not actually going to be interviewed for this call. I'm actually.
Okay, we're done. Bye.
So you can see that talking about addiction is a delicate issue. Sometimes it's difficult to open up and really speak about the addiction that we have. What I found interesting about this interview was that Shelley's addiction really has some positives and negatives to it. So the idea of balance in our life with that type of addiction could be an important topic.